50% of all the entertainment in the UAE are in YAS, more than 50%. Very high consistency. Yeah, I mean, we're right now standing on the F1 racing tracks, one of the most expensive sports in the world. Nothing similar will come to the market for the next decade.
Where does Abu Dhabi's economic strength really comes from?
It is the richest city on earth. You know that 90 to 95% of the entire oil reserves in the UAE are in Abu Dhabi. It's depending less and less on oil. 45% of oil makes up the GDP, 55% in international sovereign wealth funds invested in technology sectors, invested in infrastructure, invested in tourism, and that was the main money printing machine that is generating the income now.
Why would you say the future of Abu Dhabi is moving towards the north right now?
You take a broader look at both Abu Dhabi and Dubai, eventually those two great cities from Abu Dhabi's side and Dubai's side will intertwine and connect, making it all as a huge, important metropolitan city that connects both cities together. YAS has had one of the highest touristic increase in visits per year, 15 to 20% increase on year-to-year base.
How will Abu Dhabi look like in the next 5 to 10 years?
You will be happily living in comparison to any other city around the globe.
Mustafa, people often say that Abu Dhabi is a quiet, sometimes even a boring city compared to Dubai.
No, it's not boring. Let me give you that. But it's a little bit more serene in one way, but if you want action, I mean, now we're sitting in one of the most sportive places in all of the world, actually, which is the F1 racing clubs, or of the F1 circuit, YAS Marina circuit. You can see here, we have the W Hotel, the entire marina, the yachts, all of that. And then we are here now in the F1 marina circuit. Just 5 minutes ago, you were watching the games, right? I mean, the practice races. So yeah, it's not boring at all.
And what about you? For how long do you live in Abu Dhabi, and how would you personally describe it?
I've been living in YAS for the past 4 years.
In YAS itself?
Yeah, in YAS. I'm living in YAS myself. So honestly, it's more enjoyable than almost all other locations in the UAE in general.
So Mustafa, I live and work in Dubai as a real estate agent.
Yeah.
If I'm considering to enter Abu Dhabi market, as an agent, where should I start?
So first off, you have to understand the market a little bit better. You have to explore Abu Dhabi in general, explore the main destination points like Sadia, Yas Island, the main Abu Dhabi Corniche, all those important destinations that you should have your clients visit also as well in the upcoming month, because honestly speaking, if you just look at the trend in the past few months or in the past year, you're going to see that Abu Dhabi is trending a lot in terms of real estate, especially for international buyers. They're all really keen or interested on having or owning a piece of property in Abu Dhabi itself.
So what are the key things that I need to understand about Abu Dhabi before entering this market?
Well, first off, you have to understand that the population in Abu Dhabi is almost similar to the population in Dubai. This is one important aspect you need to understand. It's almost similar in terms of population, but the number of freehold areas in Abu Dhabi is significantly less in comparison to Dubai, meaning there is less supply of real estate properties and projects. And if you take a look at the number of units that are offered in the market on a year-to-year basis in Abu Dhabi is not compared to even 10% of what is offered in the market in the Dubai market.
Not even 10%?
Yeah, I believe it's in that range. So the freehold properties or the developers that are here in Abu Dhabi, is significantly lower than in comparison to Dubai. There's more than 1,000 developers developing there in Dubai itself. Abu Dhabi has a handful of developers developing in it. Speaking from a demand perspective, on real estate in Abu Dhabi is going to be significantly higher, especially in the upcoming years, due to the low number of supply, although the population sense is almost similar, especially when the international market realizes that till now, Abu Dhabi itself hasn't opened up a lot for the international market. So any broker who's jumping in the trend now is going to get the privilege of getting his client best value for money in Abu Dhabi or in YAS in general.
How is daily life here different compared to Dubai?
Well, I cannot tell you in particular, but I can tell you based on my personal experience. First off, there's literally zero traffic, which is a huge added value. But honestly speaking, safety is, both cities are very safe. I mean, Abu Dhabi is the safest city in the world for the past 10 years. But I mean, there's a lot of similarities. Of course, Dubai also is a very, very important and one of the most important cities around the globe. But here, it's a little bit more nature-oriented, less crowded, less towers, let's say. And the capital, yeah, maybe you'll have a lot of, in the main Corniche Road, let's say, you have huge towers, but still, the horizontal development is more common in Abu Dhabi. More green spaces, bigger land spaces, bigger beaches as well, more natural beachfronts, more family-oriented, let's say, not as busy as Dubai. And that is one, for me, myself, I find that one of the most important things that I look for in a city when I'm living in with my family.
Can you describe like a weekend with your family here?
You know, sometimes forget the weekend. The weekend, I mean, I like to enjoy it at home with the family and all of that, maybe doing some barbecue and so on, and the garden all. But sometimes I pick my children up from school. Sometimes they would like to change, to have a little bit of change of mood. So I pass by Ferrari World for 15 minutes. You know, I have the annual pass for me and my family. We grab a pizza there. He'll ride one ride and then we'll get back home. It takes us about 30 minutes to do so, which is a nice, yeah, I mean, you're entering Ferrari World, or sometimes Warner Brothers. You'll just enter with them for their grabbing a hot dog or a burger, something just to lighten up the mood just after a long school day for him. He enjoys it, and then I'll get him back to home. And this is something that you cannot do in any other country around the globe. But so, I mean, if you want to visit a main theme park in any other country, it will take you at least an hour to get there. Yeah, then another hour to get in, and then to get out. I mean, here you have a 30-minute drive. You'll get into a park, you'll grab a pizza, and then get out. And that's something that is, I mean, I didn't live this experience, but here in Abu Dhabi, or in Yas in particular.
Let's talk about numbers. Where does Abu Dhabi's economic strength really comes from?
So if we're talking numbers, you know that 90 to 95% of the entire oil reserves in the UAE are in Abu Dhabi. That's one thing that was very, 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 very significant. But then again, the sovereign wealth funds that Abu Dhabi have, as I told you, Abu Dhabi has the biggest sovereign wealth fund in the entire world. So it's technically the main money printing machine right now for Abu Dhabi. And that sovereign wealth funds has invested in huge tech companies, international banks, and global real estate markets. So all of that generates a lot of income. Not to mention, of course, also tourism, the real estate sector, and all the entire infrastructure that has been built in Abu Dhabi. All of that brings in significant amount of income for Abu Dhabi as one Imara.
How important is oil now, realistically, compared to the past?
That's a very important question. So if we go back 20 years back, you'll see that the oil production was making about 75 to 80% of the entire GDP of the UAE. But recently, if we're talking about the UAE in general, 75% of the entire GDP is non-oil related. Only 20 to 25% of the entire GDP right now is from oil. But if we talk about Abu Dhabi in particular, you're going to see that right now, 45% of oil makes up the GDP. 55% is technically related to international income, tourism, and other sectors. But it's depending less and less on oil. And that is one thing that is very important. And the way they did that is that they got a huge income from oil over the past years. They put all of that in international sovereign wealth funds, invested in technology sectors, invested in infrastructure, invested in tourism, invested in multiple other sectors. And then that was the main money printing machine that is generating the income now. And that was a very important leadership decision taken from the entire government. And it's something that, try to mimic or do something similar.
What do the data tell us about the demand for the real estate, supply and absorption?
That is also very important, that almost all the projects that are launched in Abu Dhabi technically they're sold out on a very fast pace, and the absorption rate is huge. Most of the projects are sold out on launch. Like one example that we as Ohana have personally experienced, like the Elisa waterfront and Reem Island. It was one of the first branded residences. When we launched it at the time, it was sold out on launch, the entire tower. We kept a few units, of course, but the entire thing, 99% of the units were sold out on launch. And that is something significant. In comparison with other developments in Dubai, maybe the sales is not as fast as Abu Dhabi, but in Abu Dhabi, the absorption rate is huge.
What do rental yields and the occupancy rates in Abu Dhabi are telling us about demand?
I'll tell you. So if you look at the current rental values of properties, whether it was villas or apartments, you're going to see that they are significantly higher than they should be, meaning they reach about 7 to 9% currently in the market. And that doesn't necessarily mean that there is, of course, a huge demand for rentals, but it means that the prices of units are still undervalued.
Yeah.
Because the typical average rental rate as per international worldwide market should be not more than 4%, like 4.5% maximum, especially in a country that there's like zero tax. Like we have zero taxes on real estate rentals. So it should make like net income of 4 to 4.5%. So when you see that the property is making 9% rental value, it means that the property value is actually like doubled. This is the actual value, but it's selling at significantly less price than it should be. So a unit that is selling now for $1 million and generating about, let's say, $90,000 a year in rental value, it means that the property, its actual value is like $2 million, $1.8 million, so that it will generate this $90,000 based on 4% income. Again, this is important, again, to address for your clients, to your to the international investors, that the price range will increase dramatically within the upcoming years, especially when people take notice. It usually takes some time for the prices to increase, but I believe within a year, 2 years maximum, prices will double in major locations around Abu Dhabi.
And the residents of Abu Dhabi, they keep on growing, and I can see that there is a trend that people are moving from Dubai here. People are obviously buying also properties over here. How long do you think it takes them to understand that, yes, this is the place where we want to stay, and maybe we don't want to go back to Dubai, and this is where we want to?
Well, it depends on the preference. But if you have a family and you're more of a family person, Abu Dhabi in general is a little bit more enjoyable than Dubai, from the concept of more serenity, more horizontal development, less vertical developments, less traffic, all of that. There are more theme parks. You know that currently Yes is almost at 50% of all the entertainment in the UAE, or the leisure entertainment parks in the UAE are in Yes, more than 50%.
Very high concentration.
Yeah, I mean, very, very high concentration, all in Yes Island in comparison to all of the UAE. I'm not just saying about Dubai or Abu Dhabi. So that is something that all the parks are concentrated in a, let's say, 15-minute drive around one small island. That's something very unique, and it hasn't been done in any other, part of the world. And then again, back to your main question, you're telling me like family and the concept of like how much time would the people would need to adjust to living. Once they start living or trying to live in Yes Island, they're technically gonna get used to it pretty fast, and they're gonna enjoy it, especially with its proximity to other destinations. So we're not just talking about Yes itself. And just take a broader look, you'll see that Saadiyat is 15 minutes away, NY University, Cranley School, all the major hospitals are like 15 to 20 minutes away from here. The Free Zone area, which is located in Maria Island, is about 25 minutes away. The main Corniche Road with the financial center, the big towers over there is like also 25 minutes. Our headquarters is in Abu Dhabi Corniche. It takes me about 25 minutes every day to drive there, which is very much convenient. I mean, I live in Yes, but I drive there for 25 minutes. And when I want to go to Dubai, it takes me about an hour, 10 minutes to get to downtown almost, which is also very convenient. If I'm going to the airport, it takes me about 10 minutes to travel to get to the airport, to travel to another country. So the entire lifestyle is very much easy. and that is something really, honestly, you don't get that in any other city in the world.
What you mentioned about like international or buyers that might be interested in the real estate over here.
Yeah.
What I've noticed that Abu Dhabi right now attracts a lot of like financial institutional structures over here, like Ray Dalio lives here, and I know that a lot of funds are moving to Abu Dhabi from Europe, from US. Why do you think so? Why it's happening?
Well, again, it comes back to the main point. Abu Dhabi is still the capital. It's one of the strongest financial hubs in around the globe. It is the richest city on earth. I mean, if you take a look at the census and go back to the publications online, the richest city in the world is currently now Abu Dhabi. It's not Dubai, it's not London, it's Abu Dhabi itself. And that is something very important to address. I mean, it is making more money than it is spending. And then that you do not see in big or mega cities that have a huge GDP.
Who is buying property in Abu Dhabi right now, and why?
Everyone. The international market, all nationalities, residents in the UAE, other residents who are working in Dubai. Honestly, they are coming to buy in Abu Dhabi. It's 1 hour drive after all. They buy in Abu Dhabi because it's a little bit more family oriented. There's a lot to do with the family in Abu Dhabi. And then at the same time, it's 1 hour drive to Dubai. So there's different segments of people that are interested in acquiring property in Abu Dhabi in general.
Yeah, just mentioning your point about 1 hour drive, like this Saturday, I took my daughter to Etihad Arena for the concert, and we spent time over there.
By the way, the Etihad Arena is amazing. So it's a 1 hour drive from Dubai. This is what I was trying to say in the first place.
So behind us is Etihad Arena.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about this place?
Well, what is there to tell? You have all major Broadway shows coming in to the Etihad Arena, The Lion King, Aladdin, all the big major Broadway shows. You have the UFC fighting, championships happening.
Have you attended any UFC fights here?
No, me, myself, personally, no, but I've attended almost all Broadway shows because of the kids, they enjoy that. And
I actually tried to get tickets for the UFC show. UFC show, all of them are always fully booked.
So it's almost, Well, I mean, next time, tell me, I'll get you, but I'm not into too much in that sports. But still, a lot of people, enjoy it, and it just happens to be there. It's very close by to our new project. Then you have here on the left side is the Hilton Hotel. You got the main Yes Creative Hub on our right side. So all of that here.
What role does the government play in shaping the city?
Well, the government is the most important player in the entire Abu Dhabi market, because the amount of extensive care that they're putting in developing the infrastructure of the city, putting in the regulations, their entire involvement, the way that they are supporting the developers is non-comparable to any other government around the globe, honestly speaking. From my personal experience, I've dealt with a lot, and I've done developments in multiple countries, in the US, other countries around the globe, but the amount of support that we've gotten in Abu Dhabi and the way that everything is very much systematic, very well planned, is unmatched. I mean, so I'm talking about the municipality, the way that the regulations are in place, the escrow account system that they have implemented, the entire infrastructure and the amount of infrastructure that has been put in the city itself is something amazing. Honestly, it was a surreal experience to work with the municipality and work with the government on huge developments. As Chief Operating Officer of Ohana, honestly speaking, the main success comes from the support that we were getting from the municipality and from the government.
Why is this like a destination for families, a good place to live with the family, and not just a city where you can invest and make money as an investor?
It's for both. It is a great city where the financial sector here is very, very strong. And at the same time, it's also very much family oriented. The best schools, best universities is very similar to Dubai, but the infrastructure has been built in a way that even the entire electromechanical system that has been built in the roads, the way that the roads are designed, like one of the things that it ticks me off in Dubai, like if you miss a specific turn, it takes about 15 more minutes to get back to where you were. So that never happens, and that never happens in Abu Dhabi. The reason it was that is that Dubai has expanded so rapidly that the infrastructure and the engineers did an excellent job there by redesigning the plan layout of the entire city. And it's a very small space, and building those huge towers. So a lot of transportation planning has been put in for the entire thing, but Abu Dhabi has done it differently. They planned the entire infrastructure, they planned the entire transportation system, and they finalized the entire road setup of all the cities, major cities. They allocated GFA, they allocated a specific built-up area, and then afterwards, the building started. So if you go now to a lot of places around Abu Dhabi, you'll find that there's a fully developed area, full infrastructure, everything, and still nobody has lived there. They build ahead of time. They invest heavily. And one of the important reasons of why they can do that is that they're always investing in the future. So they're investing in their infrastructure. The sovereign wealth funds is investing heavily in infrastructure, heavily in international markets, and they're investing in the future. That has reflected on the real estate sector, making it one of the best places to live in terms of lifestyle and calmity, serenity, and all.
Mustafa, we are standing here by the canal, and in front of us we have a magnificent piece of land,
which is our Ohana plot.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about this location? What will be over there?
Over there, my friend, we will have the Manchester City Yas Residences by Ohana, which is a branded residence by Manchester City. It will have a huge center park, the most important sophisticated sports amenities. The Manchester City Academy will be built there. Villas, townhouses, apartments directly over the canal, overlooking the main canal side of Yas. The amazing thing about it is that you can see how nice it is. Like we're right now standing on the F1 racing tracks, which is one of the most expensive sports locations in the world. You know what's the F1 and the Formula 1 racing tracks, and then over there, you can just overlook the Paddocks Club and you can see the entire plot where the project will be built. And that was something surreal. This is why we chose to have our sales center and it's on the Paddocks Club, so that the client will come in and then we'll explain the project. And, okay, it's in so where is it? And there you go, It's and an amazing thing.
How big it's going to be? Like
It's 1.7 million square meter in development area. So that's a significant. Technically, it's almost all the land that you see in front of you, just adjacent to the canal from the other side.
And what type of units do you plan to build there?
Well, we're planning mixed type of units. We'll have twin villas, 4-bedroom twin villas, 4-bedroom single villas, 5-bedroom villas, as well as apartments, penthouses. We will have a standard payment plan that is flexible actually to everyone. It's 5% booking, 5% down payment, and then 5 every few months, and then 50% on delivery, which is technically nothing. If you calculate 5%, by the way, the price range is very attractive. So we're talking an almost average 7 million for the 4-bedroom villa, and 9.5 an average for the 5-bedroom villa, which is, again, it's very, very convenient in terms of price range for the villas. And for the apartments as well, we're talking about canal view apartments, like water view apartments. The 3-bedroom apartments, we're talking about like 4.5. The penthouses, we're talking about like 9 to 10 million penthouse, water view, open, and you can imagine what the view will look like. Over here, you have Ferrari World, you have SeaWorld Abu Dhabi, you have the F1 racing tracks, you have the canal front. It's amazing. It's a 5-minute walk, and you're on the main promenade that leads you to the F1. And there's a bridge connecting that part of Yas to this one. The location speaks for itself. But then again, we wanted to add an extra layer of luxury, not just because Yas is a brand, and us being Yas Canal also is part of that brand and that legacy that Yes encompasses as a destination. But we didn't want to build just any project like any other. We wanted to build a legacy kind of project that will be embedded within the heart of Yes as an important destination point for people to come, visit out, to be seen, to be well known. So we added an extra layer of luxury to have Manchester City as our main brand, to be added for the entire development and the entire project. And that made the project stand out in terms of positioning.
Only by seeing the renderings, you already can easily understand that it's something incredible that is happening there. And you guys have done an incredible job with the...
It's a unique project that will not come again to the... nothing similar will come to the market for the next decade. I'm sure about it. It's a last piece of land in Yas Island. The last piece of land in Yas that can withstand a huge master development. Of course, there are small parcels that you can build a building or so, but as a full community, a full master plan, as master development, this is the last parcel that is the closest to Yas that you can build on. And it's directly on the Yas Canal, Perfect.
And why would you say Abu Dhabi government is investing so heavily in such world-class entertainment infrastructure?
Well, if you just take a broader look, you're going to see that Yas is part of the greater Vision 2030 of the entire UAE area. So you have Yas as the main entertainment hub for almost all of UAE. And then you have Saadiyat, like the main cultural district, where you have the Louvre, Guggenheim, Zayed National Museum, and so on. And then part of that is developing entertainment destinations in Yas. So you have, of course, Disney just was recently launched, as you know as well. You have all the main theme parks from Warner Brothers to Ferrari World and so on and so forth. Now we just added the Manchester City Academy in Yas, on the Yas Canal. So all of that adds up to the entertainment factor that Yas is built all around. Almost 50% of all the major entertainment parks in the UAE are inside Yas. So that is by itself something important. It's more. This is what Yas stands for. It's mostly the main important leisure destination in the UAE, and that's why there's a heavy investment from the government on major parks and major entertainment destinations in Yas Island.
So we can see here the old city of Abu Dhabi. Why would you say the future of Abu Dhabi is moving towards the north right now?
Well, if you take a broader look at both Abu Dhabi and Dubai, you're going to see that little by little, you have Abu Dhabi expanding from the main Corniche Road, Abu Dhabi City, Saadiyat, Yas Island, Al Jurf area, and it's connecting a little bit to Dubai. And Dubai, the same thing is happening from Dubai's side as well. That you have, so you have Dubai South, the Palm, Jebel Ali. You have the new Al Maktoum International Airport, which will be the biggest airport in the world in the next 10 years. Also moving towards Abu Dhabi. So eventually those two great cities from Abu Dhabi's side and Dubai side will intertwine and connect, making it all as a huge, important metropolitan city that connects both cities together. So that is something significantly important to notice if you just notice how development is progressing towards Abu Dhabi. And then again, from that side is where the main beachfronts are. So you have Saadiyat, which is one of the most beautiful beachfronts in the UAE. You have Al Jurf area, where we're building Jacob Eco Beachfront Living, is also a huge, beautiful beachfront destination. And then Yas is just there in the middle, in between both cities. And it's like becoming a central entertainment hub that both is accessible by Dubai and Abu Dhabi City. So it's from here to Yas. It takes us for about 25 minutes to 30 minutes. From Yas itself to Dubai, it takes about 50 minutes. To the new Al Maktoum International Airport, it takes about 45 minutes from Yas. So then again, as you can see, here, the old Abu Dhabi City, you have the Al Bateen area, you have Emirates Palace over there, or the Marina Mall, front, and then from the other side, you have the main Saadiyat Island, the cultural district, Yas Island, and then you have Al Jurf area where we're building the Jacob Anko beachfront living. And then after that, it connects directly to Dubai. At the end of the day, it's a 1 hour drive between both cities. So, and also you can clearly take a look at the beautiful city, the horizontal development that's happening in there. And then there's not a lot of towers from this side of the old city. If you look at the other side of it, you'll find like there is significant, big, huge towers being built on the other side. Even the way that the roads, the sizes of the roads, the way that there's no lot of highways, over condensed over each other. As you can see, there's no traffic, which is one of the most, it's in comparison to other important cities around the globe. That's one thing that I really love about Abu Dhabi. I hate getting, stuck in traffic, and that never happened for me in Abu Dhabi.
How will you say all this entertainment infrastructure affects on the demand for the real estate?
Yeah. Well, the demand is most definitely increasing significantly on a year-to-year base. And that is affected by the fact that more parks and more entertainment destinations and leisure destinations are opening up in Yas. That technically controls the demand for real estate, holiday homes, rentals, and all of that. Because the more there is demand for hotels and holiday homes and rentals, the more demand there is for real estate. Thus, the rental rates will grow up. Thus, the prices will go up. It all follows what is the population that is currently coming to visit Yas. And on a year-to-year base, Yas has had one of the highest increases in terms of touristic increase in visits per year on a year-to-year base, almost like 15 to 20% increase on year-to-year base. But then again, another thing that controls the demand is the supply, which is when there's lower supply, there's less developed land. It means that the demand will surge because there's not enough supply to cater the entire market. And this is exactly what's happening now in Yas. Like our project, the Manchester City Yas Residences, is the last fully developed master plan that will be the newest addition to Yas. And that's it. There's no more plots on this size or on this scale in Yas or around Yas Island. That's it. And based on that, this is technically the last chance for any buyer or purchaser to buy a first-hand from the developer a property for not a secondary market villa. Because right now, if you want to go in the market, on the market right now, what's going on is that there's a lot of deals happening or going on in the secondary market. A person who purchased a villa previously on Yas is reselling it or whatever because there's no developments happening in Yas for the past couple of years. This is the latest addition and the only addition to Yas in general, which is directly on the Yas Canal, which is the Manchester City Yas Residences, which is our project.
How will Abu Dhabi look like in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I think all of us will be impressed by how the city will look like in the next 5 to 10 years. But then again, it's going to be a very expensive city to live in the next 5 to 10 years. And that takes us back to the main important aspect that the real estate market in Abu Dhabi is still very much undervalued in comparison to what's coming in the next 5 to 10 years.
Imagine like I'm a father who is investing in Abu Dhabi today. How will my life look like in the next 10 to 20 years?
You will be happily living in a very calm, family-oriented neighborhood. And I believe that your children will be very happy, safe. They will get the best education. They will get best hospital. They will have much bigger opportunities in terms of financial growth, in terms of financial earning in comparison to any other city around the globe. Because my personal belief is that Abu Dhabi is the best city on earth. And I think that if you do a little bit of research yourself, you're going to find out you will prefer to move your family and raise your family here in Abu Dhabi rather than any other city on the globe.